You think the World Cup started with a trophy and a stadium full of cheering fans? It didn't. It started with a frustrated Frenchman, a failed Olympic experiment, and a handful of countries that almost didn't show up at all. The real story is messier, stranger, and far more human than the polished tournament you watched today. Let's go back to the early 1900s. Football was popular across Europe and South America, but the biggest international stage at the time was the Olympics, and the Olympics banned professional players. The best players in the world were kept out of their own sports showcase. One man decided this was unacceptable. His name was Jules Rimet, president of FIFA. He believed football deserved its own global tournament, open to professionals. In 1928, FIFA agreed. The first World Cup would be held in 1930. But where? Uruguay made an offer almost no one could refuse. They had won Olympic football gold twice in a row, were celebrating 100 years of independence, and promised to cover travel costs for every team that came. Still, Europe was in an economic downturn, and the long sea voyage was expensive. Most European associations said no. In the end, only 4 European teams made the trip. Out of 13 total teams, most came from the Americas. The first World Cup almost happened without the continent that arguably loved football the most. The tournament was held in Montevideo, Uruguay, in a stadium built specifically for the occasion and finished just days before the opening match. The host nation made it to the final against neighboring rival Argentina. Tensions were so high the two teams couldn't agree on which ball to use, so they used Argentina's ball for the first half and Uruguay's for the second. Uruguay won 4-2, becoming the first ever World Cup champion. The trophy they lifted wasn't the golden statue you picture today. It was made of gold-plated sterling silver and lapis lazuli, depicting the Greek goddess of victory. It was named the Jules Rimet Trophy. During World War II, the trophy was in danger. Italy held it at the time, and with the risk of it being seized, an Italian FIFA vice president secretly hid it in a shoebox under his bed for years, telling almost no one. It survived the war hidden in plain sight. In 1966, while on display in London, the trophy was stolen in broad daylight from an exhibition. It was found a week later, wrapped in newspaper, under a hedge in a South London garden by a dog out for a walk. In 1970, Brazil won their third title, which under the original rules meant they kept the Jules Rimet Trophy permanently. A new trophy was made for future tournaments, the golden one you recognize today. But the original trophy story wasn't over. In 1983, it was stolen again, this time from Brazil, and never recovered. Investigators believe it was melted down for its gold. The very first World Cup trophy likely no longer exists. So when you watch the World Cup today, with its billions of viewers and perfectly synchronized broadcasts, remember what it came from. A man who couldn't get his idea taken seriously. A host country that almost competed alone. A trophy hidden in a shoebox, found by a dog, then lost forever. The World Cup wasn't born polished. It was born out of rejection and improvisation, from people who refused to give up on an idea everyone else dismissed. That frustrated Frenchman got his global stage after all. He just couldn't have imagined what it would become.